So let's shift gears to the other part of your brain, which is the team building part of your brain, and talk about some tips on that. So, it's without a doubt, if you want to make a lot of money in ACN, you're not going to be gathering customers by yourself. You need to do that with the team. So let's start with the mindset of somebody that's a team builder, because I think with how attractive our services is, people come in, they just want to get customers. What is the shift somebody needs to make in their brain to understand the importance of building a team?
Yeah, what I heard a regional director said is recently, which is kind of like mind blowing for me, is that you can gather customers, which is great because we're a customer acquisition company, to make some good money for yourself. But you also want to think about the person you're speaking to. What is their situation? Where they're at? Did you give them the option to say, hey, are you open to making some extra money? Because you never know that person's situation. Somebody might look all fine, right? That's the way I looked. I was working at a job, get paid well, but I was looking for something different. No one would have known that unless they asked me a question. So you need to think in your mind as well to, how can I help this person create additional income for themselves? So you have to ask that question. So my key thing, if someone sounds a customer, I let them know, just to let you know, in the future, if you ever want to decide to get paid off of any of these services, including your bills, we have a business expansion I can actually show you to see how you can benefit from that. The option's totally up to you, but just let me know. So that person went, hey, well, sure, why not? Are you available right now? Are you available tomorrow? And I just show the person the information. Then they have the decision for themselves. I'm just happy being a customer, or you know what, I actually want to get paid too. How can I get this business started and get paid off my own services? So I always give everyone that option. But that's the way you just have to think overall, is how can you help that person as well make some additional money in their pocket? Because in today's times, like especially the economy going on right now, a lot of people are struggling to keep up with bills or just keep afloat. The amount of people that I've seen, unfortunately, on the streets right now, like asking for money, is like way more than I've ever seen since I've been here in Edmonton. So we have a key point right now to go there and help a lot of people.
So I think it'd be good for people to hear maybe how you were your very first week in this industry, this company, inviting that, you sound polished and you sound put together and that you understand the business really well. But maybe if you could share with everybody how you were in the beginning, and then what things helped you become better. So what do you feel were major key moments that helped you improve with your team building and your recruiting and your ability to just talk to somebody? How did you get better at that?
Well, in the beginning, I was horrible. I was not polished the way I'm right now. I learned a lot over the last couple of years because I had to learn a couple of things. Number one, how to approach people in the business. So again, I came in mind wide open with to learn the ACN system, because I had a background in the industry, but that was from my previous companies I was with. And when I came into this company, I had to learn everything brand new, forget everything I knew in the past. And for me, honestly, this is what I call like a grown-up company, because the amount I've learned over the years has significantly changed me, not only in business, but also the person and parent. What I've had to work on over time is a lot of personal development. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of personal audio, surround myself with great people, yourself, Doma Giordano, Tim and Sharon, all the other leaders, different leaders as well too around Canada. I'm like a sponge. I'm around. I always ask questions. I always ask for feedback. I did, like, when you challenge us to do our own presentation to submit it, I submitted it. Although I heard my voice, I was like, so weird. But I think by doing that, it helps you to learn new things. Because again, when you're speaking, you don't really understand, or you don't really hear what you're saying. You hear the words, but when you listen to it again, you kind of pick up on so many things that you didn't notice from before. So for myself, I used to say a lot before I presented. And then once I noticed I was making those mistakes, guess what I did? I went on YouTube. I listened to speakers. They showed us exactly what to do. I had to learn a whole bunch of things. You gave me a great tip. Speak, because naturally I'm a soft-spoken person. I had to learn to verbalize myself, speak louder, project my voice. So there's so much things that I learned over the years to improve myself, but I also knew that if I wanted to get better, I had to spend the time to do the personal development together.
A major key element to you being able to build a team of people and accelerate that is your ability to present. So I think that goes hand in hand with somebody's ability to invite, somebody's confidence. You talked about recording yourself. Were you nervous the first time you presented? And then, in addition to recording yourself, how important is it that somebody learn how to present themselves? If we have so many great resources and so many great leaders that can help, but why is it important that you know how to explain this business yourself?
Well, I think one of the most important things of you presenting by yourself, it also shows your team that you are a leader. You're the person taking charge of the business. They can look up to you. They can come to you. They can ask you questions. They can come to you for a presentation at any point of time. They don't have to wait until a group presentation is happening. They don't have to have a recording. Recordings are great, but by having you present for them, it shows them that it also shows the guests that you're the business expansion leader in the area. So I took on that role for myself right away because I wanted my business to grow very, very fast. I didn't want to wait because, of course, you guys get busy as well too, right? And whoever the person's upline is will be busy building teams. So if you can present on the dime, because you might have a friend that you run into at a coffee shop, and you might pique them and say, "Are you open to make some extra money?" The person says yes. You're not going to say, "Or are you available tomorrow or the day after?" They're there in front of you right now. Say, "Hey, we got a couple minutes. Let's do this." You pull out the presentation. I've done presentations on my cell phone so many times and show people, is this natural? I have it on my phone. So I present at the same spot. And for people who are brand new at presenting, I taught this to one of my new IBOs recently. He speaks French and he wants to learn to do the presentation. I'm like, you don't have to do every single thing we do on the regular presentations. Just say the simple stuff. You just want to educate someone mostly what you have in your hands. That's just the intro. And then that's going to lead them to a second presentation on a second exposure that person will join the business.
So I think for a new person, the hardest part of the presentation sometimes is the end where they get nervous, they ramble, they talk lots, they don't stop talking. What do you do at the end of a presentation to make it effective, powerful, and lead to a close?
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of people ramble at the end because this is something I learned as well too. As humans, when we hear silence, we just think is like dead space. We need to fill that dead space with words. But the one thing you can do at the end is ask a simple question. Once you're finished the presentation, you be excited. Tell the person, this is the reason why I'm doing this business. This is my reason why. I love for you to jump on board me. Do you want to get yourself started today? You just ask that simple question. But again, I believe that a lot of us, again, have that fear of rejection where the person says no, but there's nothing wrong with a no. You can say, okay, person says no. Okay, what about it didn't appeal to you? I want to learn. I'm learning myself. By getting that feedback, it might answer that question for that person that they never thought about, which could lead them to take another look as well too. So for a close, what I would do, like I just mentioned before, I always ask, are you ready to get started today? Because it's an open-ended question, it'll get them to, if they have questions, they'll say, I have a couple questions first. You get those questions answered, then again, you go back. Hey, since we got those questions answered, let's get you going, right? Show the person that you want to build a business with them. They're not in it by themselves. You're doing it together as a team. Take it all the way to the top. And again, if the person says yes right after presentation, don't get nervous. Just sign them up on the spot and then funnel them into the training. So that's the key thing is just asking that initial question to help people move forward.
So you mentioned there at the very end, funneling them into the training and moving that person possibly onto other meetings. An important part of follow-up, showing the business a second time, maybe a different way, or having another opportunity for them to see the information. Could you give everybody an idea of how you approach that person so they can see the opportunity a second time if they're on the fence and they're thinking about it?
Okay, so for me, what I do, and all my team does this as well too, is when the person is done and they say, okay, well, I have a couple more questions or I want to do a little bit of research, I say, no problem. You definitely want to do your due diligence. But guess what? We have another meeting which is coming up on, say, Tuesday or Wednesday at 6 p.m. By chance, are you available that day? The person say, yeah, well, yeah, I think I am. Well, can you make yourself available? The reason why I'm asking is that we have a group presentation where you can hear from a couple other people, not just ourselves, from all different walks of life, right? Of course, I'll know who the presenters are and I'll edify those presenters as well. So it could be yourself, come from the construction industry, have a doctor who's on there, people who are business owners, people who are real estate investors. They're also involved in the business and they'll be talking about what we provide. And right after that, there's going to have something called a quick start training. What that quick start training is going to do is going to show you the simple things that we do to help build the business in ACN, how to gather customers, how to build a business, and a little bit about the bonuses as well too. So I think that's going to give you a little more information top of what you need. But it's just like this. This is an example I give. Have you ever watched a movie a second or third time? When you watch that movie the second or third time, guess what? You learn something new that you didn't think about before. It's going to be the exact same way. Is you getting a second view, and you might think about something you never heard before, you never thought about before, and it help your decision. So I confirm with the person that they can make it on. Then I let them know that I'll be the person reaching out to them because I've built a contact with them on the Zoom. And I'll say, I'll give you a shout tomorrow. I'll provide the Zoom link to you, and I look forward to seeing you then.